Oh, hi students, today is another week. We have been given another 21 days to relaxing home, taking care of ourselves. I believe we are taking all the necessary measures given by the government, but for us, we are continuing to help you wherever you are. We shall continue reaching you, guiding you in all the areas. So like today now, I'm going to start on a new topic, that is network analysis for project management. Last week, we were discussing about part of linear programming, that was assignment model and transportation model. Most of you have done assignments, most of you have marked for you. You have actually given me feedback. I'm very much impressed, and I hope you'll continue like that. So for this topic today, we are going to discuss about network. It's a very common topic in exams. You find that all the past papers, apart from last sitting, that is for November 2019, there was no network, but all other days, all other exam settings, we have been having network question being set, network analysis question being set. So I believe you're going to prepare for that particular topic. I was worried because I had not covered this topic, and one of the major topics that's always in the exam. But I believe I'm impressed now. I'll be able to take care of you, and I'll be able to start from the beginning until the end. Some of you have done some practice, but I believe as we move on together, we shall be able to understand all the basic concepts and be able to tackle most of the questions in the exam. So when you meet for blocks, it shall just be a matter of going back through some few questions and then getting prepared thoroughly for the exams. So I'll start with the topic now, network analysis, which is very wide, but I believe I'll finish that topic with time. So don't be scared, don't be worried. I know I'm there for you people. So today, I'll start with, you know what's the network. When we talk about network analysis for project management, we have a project that we want to start. We have an activity that's supposed to begin any time. We have to assemble the resources. We must have enough money. We must be able to think about the time. We must have a proper plan for that particular project. So in this case, it entails so many things for us to begin any kind of a project. So we need to have the resources. We need to be given what time frame. We need to know who is going to actually who is going to be constructing that, taking care of that particular project, who is running that particular project. So all those things must be put together before we think about starting any kind of project. So a project involves, take for example, we need to construct a house. We need to have a foundation. Okay, we need to have enough resources. We must gather enough concrete, cement, maybe sand. We must have somebody who's supposed to be constructing that particular house, maybe an engineer or somebody who's actually good in that area. So we must have all those kind of things, materials, timber and everything, names and everything should be there so that we can be able to start our project. So after having that, we must have, assuming that we have all the materials together, where do we start? I believe we must clear the land itself first. Maybe as we construct a house, we must clear the land. And then we must start digging maybe for us to have a proper foundation. Once we have a good foundation, once we do the foundation and everything has been put, set up, we wait for 21 days maybe, as per the law requirements. And then we start now coming up with the walls. Once we reach, maybe we are talking about 5th floor, we shall reach 1st floor, again we put another concrete again, we wait for another 21 days, like that, up to 5th floor. I believe when we do all that kind of activity, we don't just go step by step. There must be a series of activities taking place at the same time. In this case, when I start with the foundation, I'll be having somebody who is going to be doing my plumbing job there. At the same time, we are talking about maybe gathering some other things, maybe making sure that we resource for roofing materials, resource for windows, resource for doors, we resource for other plumbing materials there to be ready so that as we continue with the 1st floor, we shall be working with even the electrician will be there, somebody working with the electricity, somebody taking care of plumbing is there. So everything is running concurrently. So which activity should be starting, which activity should wait, which one can wait for some time, which one should be running concurrently with these other many activities as we move on until we finish our building, so that we can finish our building or our project within shortest time possible. So that's talk about network. We have the resources, we are running against time. There must be a time frame that where we can finish our project. So we can have so many activities or so many projects that we are supposed to complete within the required time frame, but we must have a series of organized activities, organized events that should be taking place so that we can be able to finish our project at the required time, and the project will be finished when it has actually fully been furnished. The way it has been designed, we should be actually be able to realize what we had planned for initially. So we find that for this project, we shall talk about is a network consisting of a number of interrelated activities that management is concerned. We find that for us to be able to come up with a project, there must be some rules that should be able to govern us. There are some basic rules that we shall be able to follow. One of these are the rules for network. So we talk about network analysis. So I've already given you some notes, which you'll go through them, you have gone through them. But now I want to just take you through very fast through the rules of constructing a network. Because if you don't know how to construct the network, we shall have a problem. The basic thing should be, how do you construct the network? Rule number one, a complete network should have only one point of entry. Number one, should have what? Only one point. Only one point. One point of entry. And only one point of exit. We should just have one starting point and one ending point. We cannot have two ending points or two starting points. We must begin from one point and end to another one point. That should be the first rule. Number two, rule number two. Rule number two should be there should not be two or more activities beginning from one event node and ending in another event node. There should not be two or more activities beginning from one event node and ending in another event node. We can never have, okay, assume that we have these are the nodes, event nodes. These are the event nodes. Event node. So you cannot have one activity beginning in one event node and ending in the same two activities beginning from one event node and ending in the same event node. This is wrong. So if you have this kind of a problem, this kind of a network, then there's a mistake somewhere. We need to separate this kind of events or this kind of activities. We cannot have two activities beginning from one event node and ending in another event node. That one is wrong. So what should we do? What should we do? We should have, you can talk about, this is wrong. We have this kind of problem, that is wrong. So what do? We can have this kind of activity, maybe we have event node, sorry, here is the one B and B, now what? A and B. This one is correct. I'll tell you what those ones mean later on. So if you have this kind of activity, event node, but you separate the two what? Event node, the two activities ending to different what? Event nodes, that one is correct. That is correct. Or sometimes we can use a dummy. If actually they begin from one event node and then another the same event node, we separate those two kind of activities using a dummy. So how do we separate the two using a dummy? I'll do like this. Talk about dummy. So we can see that I've separated the two. Yes, they're supposed to begin from one event node and end to another event node, but because I cannot, according to the rule, we cannot have two activities ending in the same what? Event node. So what do? We separate the two using what? A dummy, using a dummy here. Dummy is just an event, is an activity that doesn't consume what? Any time or any cost, but just showing us what activities are taking place, but without consuming any resource or any time. It's just the one for, at least for us to be able to complete the rules of drawing what? A network. So we have a dummy here. Separate the two what? Activities. That will be rule number 2. So I've said that there should not be two or more activities beginning from one event node and ending in another event node. So for us, for this one, I told this one is wrong. This one is correct. Even this one is what? Correct. This one is correct. So if you do that, this is correct, but this one is what? Wrong. So now we go to the next rule. Number 3, we say that we should not have a dangle activity in a network. We should not have a dangle activity in a network. This is an activity that does not link up to the overall projects. We should not have a dangler activity in a project. What's a dangler? To talk about a dangler, I've said we should not have what? Number 3, no dangler activity in a project. Dangle activity is just an activity that normally happens. It doesn't connect what? To the main activities of the project. We can have activity A, that's an example of dangler. Activity A, we have activity B here, and then we have what? C, we can have D, and then we can have what? E, but we have this kind of, and then we can have what? E, we can have activity what? Activity. And then we have another activity here. G. So you can see this activity here, activity G, what called what? A dangler. We say that as per the rules, we must have what? One starting point and we must have what? One ending point. But in this case, you can see this activity G does not connect to the main what? Activities. It is hanging. Called what? A dangler. We should not have any kind of activity like this one. This activity should be connected what? To the other end. That's okay, the other end. But never should we have what? An activity that is what? Hanging. I hope I'm getting clear. We should not have what? A dangler activity in our project network. Every activity must be connected what? To the main project. Nothing should be hanging. Now we go to rule number 4. Rule number 4 says that we should not have loops or circuits in a project network. Loops is a series of activity leading back to the same activity. So you might have what? Loops. So we now go to rule number 4, where rule number 4 says that we should not have loops. We should not have loops or talk about what? Circuits, loops or circuits. Circuits, these are events or activities leading to the same what? The same event node again. We don't have loops or circuits. These are events that actually, as we move on, we go back to what? The same event node. So for example, we can have activity A, and then we have what? Activity B. We go back to activity C, and then you go back to activity B. So we can see that, we can see that as we move from A, B, C, D, going back to the same activity, the circuit. So we should never have this kind of activity in our network project. When constructing network, remember that we must begin from one point as we move forward. We are always moving forward towards what? The end. No point we shall be going backward to the beginning again. Having the same kind of what? A cycle of same kind of activity. This is not true, this is wrong. When you have this kind of situation, then you are constructing what? A wrong network. So always the network will be moving forward, always moving forward. No network will be coming what? Backwards. That's okay. Those are some of the rules of network that we are going to discuss today. And then, as we move forward, I want us now to look at something else. How do we now draw the networks? How do we draw the network? It's very, very important. How do we draw the network? So there are some basic rules that we shall be guiding us when constructing the network. We must understand the relationship between activities. So we must look at what? The relationship between activities. It's very important for us to understand about those relationships between activities. How are they related? So that we can be able to construct a network. Today I'm not in a hurry because I want us to understand the network properly. If you don't get anything clear, you have an opportunity of being asking me the way no one asked why I was up, or rather some of you are calling. So number one, we have this kind of two connected activities. How do you explain about this? Or how can you explain this kind of activity? This chain of activities, we start from what? A, and then we have what? B. So I wish we had a class, but now I have what? Empty seats to be able to let me discuss the deliberation. How do you interpret this now? How is the kind of activity? A, and then we have event node, and then we have what? Another activity B. This activity, and then how what? The event node. How do you explain these activities? So look at this one. It means what? Our activity B must begin once activity A has ended. Activity B must begin once activity A has ended. That's what we're supposed to. How is supposed to explain that? So we can say that A must be completed before B begins. That's okay. So you can say that A must be completed before B begins. Sorry. Okay, second relationship we cannot look at. Okay, let us look at this and event node. We have maybe A and B, and then from there we have what? C. How do you interpret this? We have two activities A and B, and then from there we have what? Activity C. I've said if I was in class, somebody could have interpreted. Actually, as he said, he coming up with what? A proper interpretation. So look at this one. We have started with A, and then we have B. A and B are moving towards the same what? Event node. But after completing A and B, then we can begin what? We can begin what? C. Therefore, we can say what? C must begin after A and B have been completed. C must begin after A and B completed. So completed B, and then final what? C. Is that okay? Now we go to the third interpretation. Third interpretation, we can say about A, we can draw this now. Third, you can have what? Talk about maybe A, and then how what? This is C, sorry. How did you operate this again? How did you operate this? So you can say that C and B will only begin after A has been completed. C and B will begin after A has been completed. So you can say B and C shall begin after A has been completed. C and B shall begin after A has been completed. Now you got the fourth interpretation. Okay, fourth interpretation, we can have this kind of an activity. We can have, we have A, we have B, and then you have C, and you have D. How do you operate this? So you can say that B comes from somewhere, A comes from somewhere, but they are both meeting on what? Event on what? This event what? And then we can now start on what? C and what? D. So it means that C and D must be completed before A and B are what? C and D must begin after A and B have been completed. C and D must begin after A and B have been what? Completed. So you can say that I've said both A and B must be completed before both C and D begin. Okay. You can say that both A and B must be completed before both C and D begin. Again, we come to now the fifth interrelationship. I can have so there's a dummy here. So what do we do? How do you explain this now? We have C here. How do you operate this now? Again, I can say, when you're in class, when you have students, we are able to discuss and come up with what? A concrete answer on how we can interpret this. So you can see that someone might say that C must begin only after A has been completed. And even here, B must begin only after B has been completed. But now, we have a dummy. You can see the dummy is connecting these two events. So you can see that when it is moving, we have B and then have what? C. B and then C. It means what? A and B together and then what? C. But D should only begin after D should only begin after D has been completed. So we have two interpretations here, two interpretations. So you can see the way the dummy is moving, the shape of the dummy, the point where the dummy is pointing. So you can see that we have what? A and B. So it means that A and B must be connected. A and B must be connected before you begin what? C. So I'll say what? First interpretation. I'll say both A and B, both A and B must be completed before C begins. Before C begins. So you must complete what? Both A and B here. Why? Because of this. When I show what? The dummy here. You can see where the dummy is pointing at. So you must complete what? B and C, B and A to start on what? C. But this dummy does not, it shows that D is less concerned with what? A. So a second interpretation, you can talk about what? For us to begin D, we must have completed what? We must have completed B. So you can say that B must be completed before D begins. So D must be completed before D begins, but A and B must be completed before C begins. This is because of what? The way the dummy, where the dummy is pointing at. That's okay. They must be contributing what? A and B for us starting what? On C. I might change the shape of, I might change the direction of the dummy. These are, they can talk about what? Number 6. Interpretation. Take for example, now I change the direction of the dummy to point like down on here. This is the dummy. So how do you interpret that? How do you interpret that? So you can see the dummy is pointing downwards. It means what? I must complete A and B before I begin what? D. So I can talk about what? A and B must be completed before D begins. And then Roman 2, we shall say what? Now we have C. C the combination what? With B. So complete, so you can say A must be completed before C begins. So A must be completed before what? This C doesn't have a dummy. Therefore, this dummy points downward. Therefore, complete A before you start what? C. But complete A and B before you start what? D. Those are some of the interpretations. Okay, having known the rules of constructing a network, and again, interpretation of networks. So I believe at this moment, we can have a small example, just a simple example, to see on how we can construct a simple network. How do you construct a network? Combining activities and events. So in this case, we have activity A, B, C, D, E. And then we have preceding activities. We have a dash, A, B, and then C, D. When you have a dash, it implies that those are the starting what? Activities of a network. Our network will begin with those two activities, A and B. Those will be the starting point of our network. And then A will only begin. A is the preceding activity. A, after A has been completed, now we can go to what? C. After B has been completed, we can now go to D. And then we have this C and then comma D. It means they must be combined together. C and D must join together in the same one event node for us to begin on what? For us to begin on E. Once you complete C and D, then go to what? E. So I hope you understood the interpretation. When you have the case, means what? Those are the starting points. And then once you are through with A, go to C. We are through with B, this is the same activity, go to D. Once you are through with C, D, go to E. Just straightforward. So let us start. I'm also trying, and I believe whenever you are, you also be trying on your own. So this is the starting point. We only starting point. We must have one starting point. But if you look at our question here, example here, we have two. That means what? We have two starting points. So you can have what? I'll say an example. I have what? A and B. In an example situation, I prefer you try drawing that diagram, maybe in a question paper, so that you can come with a final draft in the example booklet sheet. So you must have that. You must try fast. Coming up with that rough diagram. From there, then come to what? Final, which is actually what? A fair copy. So now we have started what? A and B. These are because you have two matches here. Those are the two starting points, A and B. And then once you are through with A, go to C. I'm through with A. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not really sure what I'm trying. Once I'm through with A, I go to C. But now I can see we have C, D. I go to C, okay? I go to C. Again, once I'm through with B, I can go to D. But I can see C, D must come together. C, D must join some point. Once I'm through with B, I can go to D. Although this is my B, I can go to D. I can now, because they are supposed to be joined together, C, D, I'll draw like this. This one should come here. This should be my D. This should be my D. C, D must meet at some point. Because of what? C, comma, D must reach some point. And then after finishing C, D, then I can go to E. I can go to E. So remember that you must show the arrows. I'll show you why we're putting on this kind of lines in my event notes later on. So this is my first activity. I'm starting, and then we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have what? 5. Eventually. So you can see that I start beginning with A, B. Once I'm through with A, I can go to C. Once I'm through with B, I can go to D. But I'm being guided here, C, D. They must meet for us to start what? And E. Up to that point, I'm through with that particular illustration. We go to the next example.